November. The snow had fallen. The roads were gone. The Overlook Hotel was now an island in a sea of white. Jack Torrance was trying to be a good father. He was fixing the roof shingles. While up there, he found a wasp nest, a massive, papery gray thing under the eaves. He bug-bombed it. He watched the wasps curl up and die. He thought it would make a nice souvenir for Danny. "Bist dead, Doc," Jack told his son that night, placing the nest in a glass bowl on Danny's dresser. "Nothing to be afraid of. It's just a shell." But the Overlook doesn't let things stay dead. That night, Danny woke up to a sound. B, Z, 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 Z. He looked at the bowl. The wasps weren't dead. They were waking up. They were crawling out of the hole, angry and sluggish. They swarmed onto Danny's face. They stung his arms. Danny screamed. Jack and Wendy burst into the room. Jack swatted the wasps away, his own hands getting stung. He grabbed the bowl and threw it out the window into the snow. He held his crying son. "I thought they were dead," Jack whispered, looking at his swollen hands. "I promise, Danny, I thought they were dead. It was a bad omen." Jack had brought the danger right into his son's bedroom, and the hotel was watching. Jack started spending more time in the basement. He told Wendy it was to check the boiler, but really it was because he found something. A scrapbook. It had been left behind by previous managers. It was a history of the Overlook. Jack sat on a crate, mesmerizingly turning the pages. The hotel wasn't just a building. It was a playground for the rich, the corrupt, and the wicked. He saw photos of masquerade balls from the 1920s. He read clippings about gangland murders in the presidential suite, suicides, affairs, scandals. As Jack read, he felt a strange sensation. He didn't feel disgusted by the violence. He felt included. He felt like he had been a part of this history. The hotel whispered to him, "You're important, Jack. You're the caretaker. You have always been the caretaker." He saw a photo of a masquerade ball. Everyone was wearing masks. "Midnight, unmasked." The caption read. Jack smiled. He felt the urge to drink, not just water. He wanted a martini. He wanted to join the party. The hotel was seducing him. It was promising him that he wasn't a failure. He was a part of something grand. Upstairs, Wendy and Danny were alone. But downstairs, Jack was making new friends. While Jack was in the basement, Danny was exploring. He knew he shouldn't be on the second floor. Dick Hallorann had warned him, "Stay out of 217. But the Shine is a two-way street." Danny could feel the ghosts, but the ghosts could also pull Danny. He stood in front of the door. Room 217. He had a passkey in his pocket. He had stolen it from his father's desk. Why? He didn't know. It felt like a magnet was pulling the metal key toward the lock. He had to know what was inside. He had to know if Mr. Hallorann was lying. Click. The door opened. The room was normal. A bed, a dresser, a window looking out at the snow. But there was a smell. It smelled like lavender soap and something else. Something sweet and rotten, like dead flowers. Danny walked in. The bathroom door was opened. From inside, he heard a sound. Drip, drip, Someone had left the water running. Danny stood at the threshold of the bathroom. The shower curtain was drawn. It was a white plastic curtain. Behind it there was a dark shape. "Hello," Danny whispered. No answer. Just the water dripping. Danny reached out his hand. His heart was hammering against his ribs like a trapped bird. He grabbed the plastic curtain. He pulled it back. She was there. She had been dead for a long time. Her skin was bloated and purple. Her hair was floating in the water like seaweed. She was the woman from the scrapbook, the one who had died in the tub years ago. Danny tried to scream, but his throat was frozen. The dead woman's eyes snapped open. They were milky white. She sat up. The water sloshed over the sides of the tub. She smiled, a terrible, grinning smile that exposed black gums. She reached out with wet, slippery hands. She didn't speak. She just made a dry, gasping sound. She began to stand up. Danny turned to run, but the door was locked. Downstairs, Jack was staring into the fire. Suddenly, Wendy screamed, "Jack! Jack, help!" She ran into the room carrying Danny. The boy was pale. He couldn't speak. He was shivering violently. "What happened?" Jack yelled. "He wandered off. I found him in the hallway." Wendy laid Danny on the sofa. She unbuttoned his shirt to check his breathing. And then she froze. She looked at Jack. Her eyes filled with horror and accusation. "You did this," she whispered. "What?" Jack asked. "I haven't touched him. Look at his neck, Jack. Look." On Danny's neck, the skin was turning dark purple. There were bruises, the unmistakable marks of 2 hands. Someone had tried to strangle him. Jack looked at the bruises. He looked at his own hands. "I didn't do it," he screamed. "I was in the basement." Wendy grabbed Danny and backed away. "Get away from us. You're drinking again. You hurt him." She ran to the bedroom and locked the door. Jack stood alone in the lobby. The wind howled outside, but inside, the hotel was laughing. It had begun. The family was divided, and Jack Torrance was the only one left for the hotel to play with. Subscribe for episode 3, because next time Jack goes to the ballroom and the ghosts buy him a drink.